I recently picked up this wood pumpkin from the Dollarama and was determined to use it with the October Chalk Couture transfer to create a really beautiful sign. So I pulled out my chalky paint in red and yellow to paint the pumpkin. I started by painting a couple of reddish oval or curved lines and then used lighter and lighter shades of orange to yellow to fill in the shape. So really it's amazing what a little bit of color and shading can do to turn this like flat seeming surface into an actual pumpkin shape. With a little bit of yellow, added a bit more accent. You're just thinking about where the light would hit your pumpkin and where it would be darkest and where it would be lightest to create this design. Now, while that was drying, I decided to chalk my cutout that came with the October Chalk Couture or Club Couture transfer. If you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, they're a company that creates these really beautiful mesh screen stencils that you can use for your crafts. And they also have these chalk pastes. So here I am lining the stencil up onto the wood cutout that came with the October transfer, and then using a bit of the black paste to transfer the design onto the cutout. As you'll see, I'm going to use the same transfer 3 times for this craft, and then later I will wash it, and the transfers you can reuse many times if you take care of them to create beautiful crafts and gifts for loved ones. I know others create projects that they actually sell at craft fairs and in their shops. After applying that thin coat of the black chalk paste, it's time for the fun part of lifting off the transfer, and you can see you have this really beautiful design underneath. I then went back to my painted wood pumpkin and applied the transfer on top. So this is now the second application of the same stencil on this craft. And the goal here was to chalk in the outer perimeter of the design because the middle will be covered by the oval shape that we just chalked right now. And then once we lift off the transfer, we have this beautiful design left behind. The traced leaves really felt like a coloring page to me, so I decided to mix up some acrylic paints. I have a bit of red, orange, and yellow to color in all the different leaves with different shades of these 3 colors to really match the pumpkin that I had already painted before. So you can see I'm just dipping my paintbrush into a bit of the orange and then red, and here I dipped it into the yellow with a little bit of orange. I'm really using the same paintbrush for the whole thing just to blend all those colors together. It was really satisfying and fun to do. I felt like a kid coloring in these leaves. I next made sure that my paints were completely dry before reapplying the stencil that we used from the beginning. My goal here was to recreate some of those black lines that I had painted over. So after carefully lining it up, I just ran over my stencil one more time and then lifted that up to reveal my final design. It looked so beautiful. I did just have to touch up the leaves in a couple spots where the paint lifted up, but I was really satisfied with how this turned out. I was careful just to dry my chalk and then glued that panel right onto my pumpkin. To finish off my new sign, I added a gold bow, some acorns, and a little bit of diamond dust to this pumpkin to really make it sparkle. I hope this craft inspired you. You can still grab the October Club Couture transfer through the link in the description below. Happy crafting!